Maria, thank you so, so much for saying yes to being on Gutsy Chick podcast with me.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you and I have known each other now for just under a year. Can you believe that?
No.
Me either. It feels like lifetimes, which I
Yeah.
love. It really
Which
does.
it has been,
I
but
mean, we'll explain that.
okay.
Just to bring everybody else up to speed who's listening, Maria Yraceburu, and I know I just said it wrong, Yraceburu, you are a ceremonialist. You are an author. You are my Shima, which means auntie. She gets to be eccentric and fun with me. I love that fact. You are at the forefront of the preservation and perpetuation of cross cultural earth wisdom collaboration. That's a mouthful, but
Yeah.
what I want to share with everybody is you are teaching all cultures about what you learned in your native practices growing up. So, when it comes to relating to Earth, one of the things that I'm doing right now is connecting people into their bodies, but relative to all of the Earth happenings, like our moon cycles and space weather, which is
Yeah.
specific to the sun, and
hmm
the the different crazy things that are happening right now, like all of the volcanic activity that we're
Yeah.
seeing, all the tsunamis that are coming from the earthquakes that are also connected to the volcanoes, and all of the things that Mother Earth is going, hey, things are changing.
hmm
But you're the one who carries a boatload of knowledge and has tracked this stuff for way longer than me. So, what part of earth wisdom relative to all of that would you like to impart on us so that people can understand how important it is to connect to the earth?
Um,
Big question.
well, yeah, it's a big question because okay, let's start with water. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
start with water and the elements a little bit because with water, the human body, you may have a different percentage. I seem to remember Linda, and this is not the statistics on the human body are not my forte. So if I get it a little off, fix it.
Well, forgive me
Uh,
or I'll fix it.
okay. So, we're like 75 to 80% water, I think.
Yep.
Um, and so if you're just watching the planet and the daily tide system that works off our coasts,
Hmm.
um, you have to kind of like ask yourself, if that gravitational pull is affecting that, how is it affecting us? Because we're so much water,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
Now, in a lot of what we call the dreaming societies, which is indigenous spirituality, because there's a lot to that I'm not going into right this second.
Too soon. Too soon.
But it means like 20% of your reality is real, okay? The rest of it we're gonna have to grow.
Right.
So with that, there's a lot of things like the seen and unseen, and again, the cycles that we've grown up with that most people have been cut off from and have to develop. It's like an atrophied muscle. You gotta work
Yes.
it, okay, to get it back. Um, but yeah, that's one of the easiest ways to demonstrate how the different cycles of what happens in life in the physical do affect us. And that's a point also that says, you know, people are out there saying we all want to be one, right? We want to be one with the earth. We want to be one with the universe. Well, that includes your physical. It's not just about spirit land, okay? This is
Thankfully.
everything plays on everybody else, which is kind of like all our relations. When we're saying that, we're understanding even the things we don't see we're related to. And so let's consider that for a minute, okay? Then when you look at Earth and you see, okay, yeah, well, she's got her four seasons, kind of these days, okay? But it's still trackable, okay? Even the things I hear about with the volcanoes, with this, with that, if you actually track it historically back far enough, you see a pattern,
Hmm.
okay? Anything that is a pattern is trackable. Okay. If it is trackable, you can know what to do, right?
Yep.
Or not do. Or in between, how to make it easier, step it up, upgrade the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's kind of what living or aligning within time has always meant. And when I was a kid, I think it started mostly, and this is something that you and I started doing almost immediately, was that greet the sun. Get
Mm-hmm.
up and watch the sun come up. And whether you're a prayer person or not, I am. I get up, I say prayers. Just even those colors, that optical coloring, how
Mm-hmm.
that can affect you throughout your day, watching that sunrise, and then holy moly, go do it at sunset too if you got the time, right? Because I'm going to tell you, sunrise, sunset, you just balanced your masculine, feminine, and your days go better. You sleep better at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're less argumentative and you're more effective in change.
Yep.
Okay, because it's easier for people to accept you when you're in that balanced energy. It brings around something that becomes, oh, can we negotiate here to know this is a fact? We're moving forward. Okay.
Yep.
So the daily cycle, the lunar cycles play effects on us, and part of what I do with you, because we work together now frequently,
Mm-hmm.
is that okay, this is like the August new moon, which is a butterfly, right?
Yep.
Will be the next one coming up, and they're gauged by animals, and then those animal traits take that into practical understanding of energies for us. Um, I don't know how long that's been around. You know how we communicate about things, and some of this stuff is like, yeah, in 500 years, I'm going to be talking about it differently because we'll have different communication stuff happening and words will mean different things.
Mm-hmm.
So even words like when we stepped into 2012, Linda and I were saying, examine your words, okay? Because they don't mean what you think they do. And
Ooh.
that brought around the teaching about the word silly. And I have an African aunt that's an Orisha priestess. And God, I think I met her like back in 2003. Okay. Now, aunt, okay, I'm going to tell you all, auntie in native tradition, indigenous tradition means a woman that's the same age as your mother.
Yep.
Okay. That's pretty much it. And since we were in a village in the old days that maybe had 24 people and they were all related anyway, they were your aunties,
Yep.
right?
They
So
were
I have all
constantly
these
there.
women that I'm not related to by blood, but they're my spiritual aunties.
Mm-hmm.
And they have educated me more in these cross-cultural ways. So when I was talking to her back in 2003, she was storytelling, right, at this women's festival. And she was talking about how, yeah, when the missionaries came to Uganda, okay, that they saw them all dancing and doing their spiritual offerings and the way they practiced, and they were using the word silly, right? And the missionaries took that as a word that meant, oh, they're being frivolous.
Oh.
They're being, right? This has no meaning other than it's a feel good like drugs, right? Something
Uh,
like that, I guess. Anyway, but she told us silly in their language means to be at one with God.
that's beautiful.
Okay. So to be at one with God is to be innocent, to feel that presence, to allow that into your life, and to celebrate what that brings to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the all encompassing silly, right?
Love.
And yet here we are, mainstream world. Oh, you're being silly. Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I will take that.
Thank you. And then sorry is another one, okay, that came up a lot and is still coming up. We
Mhm.
say we're sorry for a lot. And first off, most of what we say we're sorry for, we didn't do. So why are you sorry? That's taking it with what we think it means. And then when you actually see what the meaning is, it means to pity.
Oof.
It does not mean I empathize with what you're feeling
Oh, yeah, use the
or
right
that
word.
I am apologizing because I did something that hurt you.
Mm.
Okay. So the words in our language, we are in a point in history where those are kind of being redefined, just like what reality is.
You immediately make me think of The Princess Bride. Inconceivable. Don't you know that that's what that means?
I have to tell you, that was so long ago, I don't even remember that. I did see it once.
You gotta go back
I
and see
remember
it.
like 2 people that were in it.
Okay, let's talk about those words relative to the moons because
Okay.
uh, today/tomorrow, tonight
Yeah.
is a full moon.
Yes.
And
We're
I keep seeing online that this is the sturgeon full moon. Where did
oh, okay.
sturgeon come from? Because I know that's
Okay.
not what you're calling this moon. So what's
No,
that
we
about? Is
for
that a
us, it's
fisherman
the
thing?
owl. Back in, like, I think it was in the '80s, it could have been in the early '90s, a man named Sunwolf put out a bunch of books that started people on the Native American medicine path. It was one of the books we had several come out that were of historic value, like we're reading Lame Deer's biography or Black Elk's biography or, you know, some historical thing that, spells things out.
Yep.
But Sun Bear, excuse me, not Sunwolf, Sun Bear actually took it and he was a Ojibwe, okay, or
Okay.
Anishinaabe.
Midwest,
And
right?
he took it and he made a book that he put out for non-natives to start to associate with the land, okay? And that more native aspect of things.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to tell you the moons and how they relate and what we call them. We don't have sturgeon in Arizona, so a sturgeon moon would not exist, okay? We call this
Ah!
the owl moon. All right.
Got it.
So it depends on the tribe, it depends on the locality, as to what we're going to be calling that. But because he
Mm.
wrote this book and became quite famous with it, he also wrote the Medicine Wheel book, which is also Ojibwe in origin. Medicine Wheel practices go throughout North America, South America. And I'm gonna tell you even Europe, because when you think of our medicine wheel, be looking at the labyrinth, okay?
Mhm.
Be looking at the circles of stones. They're
Mhm.
all the same kind of situation, which is about tracking.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, starts with the tracking of what's happening with the lunar and solar aspects. Um, so yeah, so it got really famous and they're still using it today because there is no real organized information out there. Even what I do for you kids when we're going through the cycles and I'm counseling you, but I do work to align you guys so you recognize the different cycles and how you line up in it so that you can find greater ease in your life.
Yes, which is what I love, and I feel like there's a lot of people who are looking at astrology
Hmm.
and using it in a similar way, right?
Yeah,
Western astrology or even Vedic astrology. Not many people know about Vedic astrology, unfortunately, but here
yeah,
in the US, everybody knows Western astrology.
yeah,
And you and I had a little chat before we started recording about astrology. It's a
yeah,
great tool for exactly what you just said to make you understand where you're at in the cycle and help you through that cycle.
yeah.
At what point do you look at things like Western astrology and go, is that really right? Did they continue to track and upgrade their system, or did they just say, we're going to knock this in time? This is where we're at, and we're moving on? Whereas Indigenous, it feels like you guys continue to track and upgrade.
Yes to the second.
Okay. You track and upgrade.
Um, and as far as Western astrology, I like comparing notes. It's just like cross-cultural stuff, right?
Yep.
And I have an aunt that's prolific in Tibetan astrology and what's it? Oh, and numerology. She does both of them. And I would say 90% of the time our things align,
Okay. I love that.
okay? And when I can't think for myself or interpret my own readings with the cycles, then I go to my aunt,
Nice. Okay.
okay? Um, I don't think you can read for yourself when you're in the spin.
Truth.
So you have to have those people. And it's not that I trust the astrology, I trust my aunt's reading.
There it is. That's yeah. That's the difference. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it too. And surrounding yourself with all the different cultures so that you can compare notes and go, I need your specific knowledge,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
a whole culture's knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. The we learn to this is a relearning about trust. It's also a relearning about how we tune into our relationships.
Mhm.
Because, I'm a firm believer. I don't need to learn everything. I got people that know that shit, right? If I need to know something, I come and ask you, Amanda, like the
Yep.
other day when we were talking about some disease, right?
Yep.
It was
Lupus.
like, okay, I've heard of this, but I need to know. And so you filled me in and then I knew. And then I knew what to do because I think that the underlying healing that goes into all our work is how do we fully engage with what we are here to experience, even
Mm,
if it's hurt, even if it's grief, even if it's chaos? How are we here to fully engage and yet never feel powerless?
mm,
Okay,
yeah.
not feel helpless. And that's what the knowing the cycles and living by what I see the earth mother doing, that keeps me out of that realm of I don't know what the fuck to do.
Okay, so we're in kind of a crazy time on this planet. A lot of volcanoes are waking up right now, and I
Yeah,
know you're tracking a good portion of them.
mm,
What is that all
probably
about?
all of
What's Mother
them.
Earth trying to tell us?
Well, she's changing. So are we. Everybody's mutating. Life on this planet is never stagnant. So it's like, okay, she's going through stuff, and according to the prophecies and the stories of the indigenous people, she's like about halfway through that. So if you figure she's in menopause, you can relate to her better, okay? If you have any menopausal women in your household, or you've known any, you will now understand Earth.
Ooh,
Continents shift,
yeah,
just like gravity makes us all fall.
yep,
Okay. Um, all our land mass, people look at the land, like up here, at the ranch, you've been up here, and we have a
yep.
lot of megalith boulders, right? We got like maybe 4 inches of topsoil. So to do anything, we got to blast the rock open. Um,
So cool.
so we come to this sensation or this belief that land is solid. Well, land's not solid. It floats around on the magna core. And it's going to move as the planet breathes. And we also, I love science,
Mm.
they now understand that the planet like expands and contracts, ebbs and flows,
Has a heartbeat.
has different layers of energy that we all have to work with. And okay, between me and the aunties and the family, it's like, oh, it's so nice when science catches up.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, hallelujah, finally.
Okay. So, but it also, I do get excited when science catches up because it gives us a new way to communicate what's going on.
Yep. We can put our
Y-
finger on it and go, look, it's
Yeah.
right here in science, as
And you
long as our
can't
science is done
stop
right.
her unless you want death. Let's put it that way. You got to learn to work with it, not try to stop it.
Oh, if you've surfed or snowboarded or skied or done anything with Earth, you learn that immediately. There's no, you don't have control over what's going to happen
Go
with
learn
Earth,
to surf. That's what I tell the kids
yeah,
these days. If you know how to surf, you're going to be okay in life.
right? Because that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if Mother Earth is going through menopause and she's also birthing land at the same time, does that mean that
Mhm.
she's in her 50s and she's pregnant?
Kinda. I'd
Holy
say more
hell.
like 45.
I'm almost 45. I can't, no hard pass.
Did you tell me you were premenopausal?
I am. Yeah,
Well, there you go.
exactly. Exactly. And
It's
it's
the
awful.
alignment.
I'm kidding. It's not awful. It's actually I think what if we can sink into the fact that these changes are natural, normal, and they're all
Yeah.
supposed to happen. And if they're out of control, there's something else wrong with your body, then
Yes.
you'll understand what in the world the earth is doing right now.
Right. And that is one of the things that we learn through our stories and our prophecies is that as human emotions calm,
Yeah.
and the whirlwind of the mind slows down, so too do the earth changes, and we're actually entering a time of settling. So this is kind of like the first year of maybe what the new normal is.
Ooh. I
Okay.
said that during COVID. I said 2025 is going to be the new normal. It's going to
Yeah.
be a time when we finally walk away from what happened in COVID, obviously have the lessons from it, but less emotionally attached to it.
Yeah.
And everything will be new
Mm.
and people will be looking for both. They'll be looking for
Yeah.
how is this the way it used to be because I was comfortable there
Yeah.
and what's coming.
Yeah. And so, um, God, like 20 2008, I think we were starting to talk about it's time to start redefining our words. It's time to define the bottom line, redefine what reality is
Oh, absolutely.
and redefine our power in manifesting that. Okay. Because also when we went from 2011 to 2012 and made that transition, um, we have to redefine who we are
Oh yeah.
because
Those
it's that victimization, okay? You can't claim victim,
Yep.
okay? Everybody's doing this healing work, it's not all this way or it's not all that way or it's not all this. But the fact, no matter what you're doing, you're reclaiming part of who you are. And like that muscle that we were talking about, you got to exercise. Well, that includes your extrasensory telepathy. That
Mhm.
includes your physical abilities. I mean, you're a boatload of static electricity. There's a hell of a lot of things you could be doing in your supernatural power, which is a return to who we once were. So when you listen to the legends about dragons or you listen to the legends about magic, you know, one thing I know about our mythology is every story comes out of an element of truth.
Yep.
Okay. So there's certain things that we can focus on that are the movement forward and re-evolving, re-evolving, okay,
That's
into the
right.
future of that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
I wanna give the audience, the listeners, a challenge. Go back and think about where you were at in 2008 and 2011 and
Mm-hmm.
what shifted for you when you got to 2009 and 2012.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about those times and those shifts, how much resistance did you have
Yeah.
toward the changes, or were you fully open to what was going on? I know for
Yeah.
me, 2009 was when I did yoga teacher training. I was
Oh,
working
okay.
I was working on NASA's Artemis program at that time, and I did yoga teacher training. So 2
Okay.
things that are not alike. And
You're a
and
dichotomy
I
there.
am a walking dichotomy. Uh, it was in that time that I knew we've gotta start stepping forward.
Mm,
There's something else out here that we've gotta start doing.
yeah.
And then 2011 to 2012, uh, let's see. So that was right before the Mayan apocalypse. At the end of 2012, Patrick proposed to me on the Mayan apocalypse. So there were big changes for me going on in 2012, but 2011 was this recreation of who I was.
Yeah.
I was debating about what I was doing in the aerospace industry. I was debating about relationships. all of my relationships, friend relationships, romantic relationships, familial relationships. So I challenge you guys, go back and think about what was going on then, because
I
we're
got
in the
another
throes of
challenge.
that.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
I want to know what you were doing in 1839.
Ooh. 1839. Okay, let's
1839
think about
is
this.
relevant to what's happening today.
1839, really.
1839, play with it.
I'm going to, because I like, from a family perspective, I know we had some there was some migration from Europe to the United States during those years, like right around those years. So I've got to go look at the histories of the family. But like, if I think about the 1800s just as a general, like, who was I? What was I doing? I was a maiden. I was one of those, like, not high class, but definitely wore the dresses, and I was female at the time. And I was on the forefront of the feminist act.
Nice.
That was me that time.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, you guys play with that one. That's fun. Okay. Well, that explains some things.
I was actually born about that time in that lifetime. So
Really?
it's really close to when Naylin Laga was born. Yeah.
So is that, were you a masculine body or a feminine body then, or
Feminine.
neither? Feminine. Okay.
Feminine. I was grandpa's mom.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's wild to think about. How much
Yeah.
of what she knew did she pass on to him? Because I know he was your main teacher.
Yeah. Most of what he shared with me came from her. And a
Okay.
big part of his teachings were to help merge us,
Yeah.
which really, I thought that for a long time, right? And I don't know if it was like the channel part that she's gonna step in and take over kind of shit, right? Or whether it
Yeah.
was just the it's too big a story for me to wrap my brain around.
Well, it's such a loop too. It's such
Yeah,
a loop,
yeah.
right? Oh, there's a book that I loved as a child. It's still my all-time favorite book, by Christopher Pike, called Starlight Crystal. And it's about time travel,
Mm-hmm.
but in using spacecraft, going out so far into the universe, watching the Earth die, then watching it be reborn, and then bringing the spacecraft back in and meeting herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that loop right there is what you just described.
Yeah,
So
I had that
fascinating.
happen, when my boys were little, and it was like 10, 12 years after grandpa had crossed, but I was in the shower washing my hair, and I looked at the white tile on the wall, and it had become like a movie screen,
Nice.
only 3D, and my great-grandmother was there washing her hair under the waterfall, and we actually reached out and touched fingers.
Oh
And
my,
I don't remember anything after that, but somehow I finished the shower and didn't manage to have a complete meltdown. It didn't really happen a lot until after I got hit by the lightning, though, and then she was a permanent fixture.
I feel like the best things happen in the shower when it comes to,
Oh, yeah,
because the
definitely.
water, it
Yeah,
goes back to what we were talking about. The body is
yes.
75 to 80% water, so is the
Yeah,
planet. Like, yeah, shower time is the best time for some of the best thoughts, the best new ideas,
yeah,
and some of these moments where we get to tap back into
yeah,
past lives, or familial
yeah.
past lives, or people who have passed. That is so cool. Okay, noted. Something to strive for. All right, let's talk about spiral dance, because you're about to open the doors for new people to come into spiral dancing, which is, I'm in spiral dancing with you. Uh, Let me just share my experience in spiral dance, and then you can fill in some of the gaps on what people
Okay,
need to know about when to sign up and how to sign up and why to sign up. I'll cover the why.
okay,
So, when I started doing spiral dancing, this was me being taught the wheel, coming into the wheel, and understanding how moving through time, moving through space, and moving through these stones. So the way that we do it is through stonework. We're learning more about ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and potentially putting down some things that no longer serve us.
Mm-hmm.
What I've taken from the work so far, and we're almost a year in now, I have been able to let go of certain things that have happened to me that I want the data from it, but I don't want the attachment to it emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to walk away from those things and finally move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I've done so much different kinds of work to do that. And this is the first time that it's stuck. And it's so unbelievably freeing. So if you've been one of those people who has tried therapy, has tried going into meditation and building a meditation practice to let go of some of that old shit. It's chit in Sanskrit, but trying to let go of it and it hasn't stuck, it hasn't worked, it still cycles back to you and you still have to deal with it. This is the place. This is the place where you finally get to let go. This is the place where it finally phases out and it just becomes a lesson instead of this thing that's holding you back from moving forward. So I have the utmost appreciation for these teachings that you taught yourself through your grandpa so that we can move forward in our timeline, in our path, and finally come out the other side to do our purpose, to show up in the light that others need us to show up in the service that we were meant to do on this planet, in this density. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So when do doors open for spiral dancing?
We have an annual registration period of August 15th till October 15th, and then our orientation meeting with everyone is on the 17th of October to work you into the system because it's quite a system when you first come in.
You get a
There
book.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, there's 2 books you get, one's a workbook, one's a mythology book, so you know where some of this comes from, the foundation, because it all starts with a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Legends.
and yeah, and then there's, like monthly, some of the things we expect from you or that we actually provide for you, right? So like there's a monthly 2-hour class, what we call a Pensei, which means vision circle that you have with me. And it's all around ceremony and ritual and some of the things we're doing this year, next year. We're literally doing structured initiations online as best we can.
It's amazing.
So there's that. That's 2 hours, one on the first Monday of the month. Then you also have what we call a clan family meeting, which is you're assigned a guardian or a mentor. And if you like, the best example I can give of this is if you went to college, you had you had the tutor, you had the office hours, you had study groups, right? Well, the
TA.
clan family's a study group
Yep.
that you bond with and you build these relations in a smaller group. And the head of that is the mentor or the clan guardian, who represents like an older cousin that's been through it already. I find them invaluable because they help me translate things sometimes that, you know, yeah, I look like you guys, but there are some things I do not have experience with. It wasn't part of my reality growing up. So
Like cell
sometimes
phones.
a translator can be helpful in getting you and me on the same page with the explanations and the understanding of what we're doing. Um, so you got that's an hour, the clan group, right? Then
Mhm.
there's an hour that you come and you do counseling with me about how you're working in the cycles and how you're aligning to the planet and getting you into a flow. And our it's usually our goal that after a year, when the next year comes, you at least have your notes and can kind of see how you were in that cycle. And you see you've upgraded. Okay.
Right.
I am operating better in this, right? This energy that's being presented, but also being able to tap that support energy that mother offers. Knowing the cycles and how I am in each cycle lets me know, oh yeah, you know what? That owl moon, maybe I should be going on vacation this year. Maybe that's not a good time to indulge in governmental stuff, things of that nature, right? So it
Yep.
helps you schedule or prioritize your time to a more efficient way of being. Um, so that's what happens when you come to counseling with me. And then you also have available a one on one with your guardian to help you work through anything you're not understanding and to share their stories so that you can find the best way for you to do things. Because even though we're presenting like instruction and ritual, um, that's just one variation of that ritual. And the study work itself, there's 24 stones in our medicine wheel. Each represents a lunar cycle. We don't go into that too much in the beginning. It's more about recognizing the energy of that cycle and then utilizing rituals to break patterns that are illusional. Okay. It's not the idea that's illusional, but it's based on an illusional thing that was given to you when you were the sponge soaking things up, right? And
Yep.
I don't even want to say people lied to you, okay? It wasn't a lie. They just told you what they thought was the truth. And
Yep.
just like science, the truth changes from day to day.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to
And
tell you,
grows.
in dreaming society, the truth stays the same all the time. That's also what we're working it towards.
Oh.
In the medicine wheel, the truth is the truth. It's just cyclic as to which truth you're looking at. And I
Mm,
don't mean truth like, oh, today this truth is true and tomorrow that truth. No, I'm saying we're working with different energies, and that's the truth of that energy.
I like that. Yeah.
And it's self-paced. We don't make anybody go through very fast. There's no timeline. That's the other thing about Earth, okay? Yeah, there's cycles you have to live by, like take the wood in for winter. That's really necessary in some places.
Mhm.
Or make sure you've hauled in water for the summer or you're camping by water. These are things we learned growing up too. Uh, you orient your tasks towards the season and how much you are physically exertive. Okay. It's not that you
Mhm.
can't do things mentally, but you also learn how to time that so that it's when you're at your optimum speed and you're doing things energy oriented. So you're actually accomplishing things instead of, oh, I'm supposed to be, writing this program or interviewing somebody and I can't get off the couch.
Mm. Mm-mm.
We allow for those days of I can't get off the couch. We schedule them.
Right? They should be planned in. More people need to know that.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
until you
something
do,
that right.
you will never do it. How's that?
Oh, ain't that the truth,
Because you're letting time run you, and time's actually an illusion because it doesn't exist.
right? On the
Yeah.
quantum level, on the spiritual level. Yeah, time's an
It's
illusion.
it's part of the heavy, dense reality. It's not part of Earth's reality.
There was a science document that just came out actually about the different dimensions of time,
Mhm.
and I have to share that with you
Yeah.
after this, but oh my gosh, it was mind warping, but at the same time validating everything that you and I
Yeah.
already know.
Yeah.
And I was going, finally, finally, someone from Russia did the study, found out, and here we are. Time's an
I love
illusion.
it. So that makes 2 articles that have confirmed things we have discussed, and the other one was, there was an article in the Washington Post that a girlfriend of ours showed us,
Oh yeah,
and it has to do with how your body is actually affected by the weather and how humans are mutating into barometers.
yeah. Which I mean, anybody who's had a severe injury or surgery already knows this,
Yeah,
and they
but it's not
finally did
connecting
the
the
science.
dots. We want to
I
connect
finally
the
studied on
dots.
it, right? Now we're all on the same page and have the same stinking language, which is
Hmm.
really the whole point. It
Yeah,
really is.
it really is.
Sigh. I love it. I love it, and it's frustrating sometimes. Very
Yeah,
frustrating sometimes. That's what all the tracking is for, and the understanding that all these things are alike. All these
yeah,
different systems that we've learned, all of these different religions that we've been presented with, they're all the same,
they
and there's
are.
no reason to fight about it.
The second that, what is it? Ownership, I guess maybe ownership or the hierarchical leadership.
Mm,
See, that's something else. We're not hierarchical leadership or circle leadership. We
yeah.
believe you're a leader as long as people choose to follow you. Our Constitution, Bill of Rights, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
it came from the Iroquois clan mothers, and then it was, tweaked. I refer to things as tweaking them, okay? Because when we tweak with the medicine wheel, we're upgrading the frequency and how we think about things. With the Constitution, the way it was tweaked, it was laid with Native America, and then they looked towards the Greek and the Romans and the early democracies as to, okay, now we're going to tweak it and have it so that rich white men can have more power. Um,
Yep.
okay. Um, so,
Not one
um,
she in that statement. That whole document has no she's in it. We the people, he.
yeah. Well, but we was important to us because, and it still is, because in my language there is no we, there is no
I
I. There's everything's referred to in the we, which keeps
mhm,
us in that momentum with all our relations.
as it
And
should.
it some days it's hard for me to translate.
It's hard to speak it too because you've had us do that exercise.
Yeah,
Spiral dance at immersion, actually. So every year we come together as a community, not mandatory, but nice
yeah,
to gather as a family. And we do it on your land.
yeah,
And the exercise this year was say we instead of I. So freaking hard.
yeah.
So hard.
Again, a pattern. So
Yeah.
this is something to consider, that most of the changes in life that need to be done and what we really work on in spiral dance, it's not whether you need to give something away. It's not you need to learn something. It's not that you need to take this on or get rid of the. No, what it is breaking the patterns so that you have choice.
Yep. Yep. Number one thing I've learned so
Yeah.
far. Everything is a choice.
Hmm.
I I find myself saying that to people a lot now. You have a
We do.
choice.
We
Yeah.
have a choice to stay in that helplessness, and then I'm gonna tell you, even that's a choice.
Yep.
That's a choice to turn all the decisions of my life over to somebody else.
Mhm.
Oh, fuck no.
Right? Why would you do that?
Well, I did once or twice, okay?
I think we all have. I
Oh
think that's
my
a
god, yeah.
pattern.
So, but I also understood, okay, yep. Once
Yep,
you
I
come out
see
of
it.
it, you understand why you were there, you find the gift in it.
Hindsight.
It doesn't make it wrong or right, it makes it something to grow from.
Yes, exactly, and detach emotionally from.
Yeah.
Because if you don't detach emotionally from it, it's going to keep riddling you in your body because your body's keeping a score on
Yeah.
that.
You're keeping the fire of dysfunction
Mhm.
going instead of the fire of inspiration.
Oh, I love that. That's gonna get quoted. That's gonna be one of our videos that goes
You
on
have my
social media.
permission.
Thank you. Ah, Maria, thank you so unbelievably much. As this goes out into the world, people will be able to sign up for Spiral Dance, you guys. The link for getting into Spiral Dance will be in the show notes. If you are going, okay, this is for me, and it's a full hell yes in your body, just go. And if you're on the fence, reach out to me, reach out to Maria. Both of our contact information are in the show notes. Ask the questions that are burning in you to find out whether this is for you or not.
A lot of the self-paced stuff comes with philosophy, comes with stories, comes with the need to take the time to read it.
Yeah. And it's worth reading. And it's great to have the clan leaders to disentangle some of the things, because you
Yeah.
do blend some things sometimes. But that blending is just the information coming out and
Yeah.
knowing like, okay, this is something I need to know now, but I don't have to do now. And that right there was something I loved learning from my clan leader, because she was just like, okay, this is just a knowledge drop. You will use this later.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just knowledge. It's
We're
not something you
setting the
have to do.
stage so you
Exactly.
understand later.
All right, Maria. Thank you so much for being on Gutsy Chick podcast with me. Love you. Mwah.
Love you too.
Yay! You made it to the end of the episode. Good job. Now, go share this with your friends. Go like, subscribe, leave me a review. Let me know that you like what's happening here on the Gutsy Chick podcast. And if you're a female high performer with mysterious chronic health condition, go check out the Gutsy Chick quiz so you can find out what might be holding you back from healing. And if you want more on what I do with my clients and my blog and any podcasts that I've been a guest on, go to bodywhisperhealing.com. Thanks for listening.